Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to this today's session. So today's test session is going to be pretty exciting as I am going to deploy one of the automation project which is on AWS and Ansible. As it can be seen, this is a challenge project I'm going to deploy. It is completely automation project, zero manual intervention. So it can be seen, uh, this is the complete project documentation I have created in order to follow. If somebody is following and trying to replicate the same use case, then in that case it will be really helpful for them to understand in a step-by-step manner. So here in this project I have tried to uh, make us things simplify and more concise and precise so that everybody can follow and take a benefit of this project. So this is the project title as it can be seen, and this is the project architecture. So let me just walk through what this project is. This is like AWS IAM users and groups creation and destroy using Ansible 100% automation. And project description is if you see solution on IAM automation solution using Ansible tool on the AWS cloud, and the cloud services we are going to consume is identity and access management from the AWS. So use case was there was a project when the company and the company had to migrate that on-prem infrastructure to the AWS cloud, and along with that, not only the infrastructure but there were like huge numbers of users and roles groups were there which needs to be migrated along with this infrastructure, and that's where it was challenging because with the manual efforts it may take like let's say there is 1,000 users. So do you think like how much time it could take to create one by one each and every users by their role, attaching their roles users to the groups, relevant groups, and attaching the policies and those kind of stuff. Like if you consider manual way, it is like huge efforts and even error prone as well, because obviously man is always to be like made a mistake, right? Nobody is perfect. So in that case this automation is going to help and solve this challenge, and Ansible is coming to rescue in this manner, and it has solved this problem. So uh, if you see there's a these are the tools and technologies I have covered. So AWS cloud identity and access management from the IAM from the AWS Ansible. I have used the Visual Studio Code, which is my local development environment, and GitHub where I pushed my entire code to the repository, and Git Bash I also use that, and Draw.io. Draw.io is actually architecture design perspective I have used. If you see this architecture I have completely designed from on the Draw.io. So this is the entire architecture if you see. So let me just give a high level overview what this architecture tells, so uh, everyone can have little insight on to the project what we are going to do in this session. So if you see on the actually let's get from here. If you see that there is a two space here, two blocks. If you see these two blocks, so this represents the Visual Studio Code local development environment. This entire block is represents the local development environment, And on the right side, if you see, this is the Amazon cloud space. This entire block is the cloud space where we will deploy our solution, and we will work before deploying. We will work here inside this local environment. So this is about the environment. And if you see on the left side, there is a cloud automation engineer, let's say, and has to deploy this project. So how this is going to be happen? So if you see, this is the Visual Studio Code. This let me show you how it looks even. So this is my Visual Studio Code, my local development environment. I have created entire solution within this Visual Studio Code. And let's get back. So this is the Visual Studio Code where I will write the playbooks, write the solution, and push to the Ansible. Through the Ansible, it will go to the public cloud. So let's start from first sequence in a sequential manner. I have also numbered the sequence so that it can be easily identified what is going to be happen in the entire flow. So entire flow you can visualize and you can replicate and understand how this entire solution is going to be deployed. So at first, cloud engineer is going just sitting here. He is just working within this Visual Studio Code. So let's say first is create. Okay, so let's if you understand, at the bottom there is a create and destroy. I denoted that to understand what this looks like. So the green one is creating and the red one is destroying the infrastructure. Okay, so let's say I have created written this playbook. So let's say second is I am going to write this playbook inside this Visual Studio Code. So I have created this directory called 01 AWS Ansible IAM create. Let me show you where it is. So this is the directory here, if you see. Okay, so this is the directory. I have created this entire resource and entire solution within this directory. And this directory also represents all the YAML files and playbooks. So if you see, there is a requirement playbook.yaml, there is a CSV files, there is a task. Okay, what it does. So playbook.yaml is a main YAML file. I will deploy this as an entire solution. So let me show you where it is. So here it is. This is playbook.yaml, my just one standard file. It will uh, deploy the entire solution from here. So this is it, and the CSV files users.csv and groups.csv. So if you see here, this is the users.csv, and the CSV has this. It is converted into dictionary actually. So let me show you where how it looks like in Excel format, so everybody can understand easily. So this is the group.csv. The title is group name, and groups are DBA, network admin, cloud admin, Linux admin. Okay, and the next one is users.csv. These are the users, and these are the groups. Okay, DBA, network admin, cloud admin, Linux admin, and these are the password for this user. So these users are associated with this group. Each user is associated with each different group. Okay, and that we need to deploy using the Ansible automation. If we just create manual way, we will just create a group first, individual, and then create a user, and then we'll associate this user with the group, and we also create the password and also attach the policy, like what needs which user based on its role, what are the accessibility constraints, and what are the denied access rules. So these are the things, but I am just going to deploy in an automated way. Okay, so these are the CSV files. If you see here, I have saved here. So these are the CSVs. and let me show uh, what are the tasks. So if you see here, these are the tasks. So tasks are nothing but the actions. What type of actions are going to be done? So if you see IAM underscore group.yaml, IAM underscore users.yaml, these are two tasks as a separate action, separate task. So if you see here, IAM underscore group.yaml, this task, let's just understand the description. Type Ansible Playbook task, create new groups. Purpose to create an AWS groups automated way by reading CSV file through the Ansible. Okay, so what it does. So if you see IAM underscore group.yaml has this uh, uh, syntax. Actually, this is this Ansible syntax in a YAML format. We need to follow this. So name, read the group from CSV file and return it as a directory dictionary. Okay, and this is the module. Read underscore CSV is the Ansible module which I am just using here, and I will write down my path, the where the CSV file is located actually. So it is located, if you see this groups.csv file is located here. Okay, so this is the entire path of that CSV file. Okay, then this is the register entity which it will save the group list. This entire group.csv data inside this register group list variable as output, so I can utilize in a different action. Let's say in the next action, next step. So next step is create IAM groups in AWS cloud. Okay, so this is again an IAM module from the Ansible. So what is the IAM type? So I'm going to be created group. Okay, so IAM type is group, then the name. Okay, what is the group name actually? So I will represent this group dot group name. So from where this group name is coming? So group name is, if you see here, groups.csv. This is the title header of that group CSV file. So from there it is coming here, and group name I am just referring as a reference. I'm passing as a reference. Okay, and the next is state present. So present, it does actually, it creates the resources. If you mention the present, it creates the resources. Okay, then there are a number of users we need to create one by one in sequential manner. So in that case we need to use the loop. Okay, so for that I am just mentioning the loop here, and this group list dot list I am mentioning as a list. Okay, then there is a loop control. So in the loop control I am just saving this entire group underscore loop underscore variable as a group, so it can iterate each sequence up to 4, whatever number of data you have available inside the CSV file. Until that finish, it will iterate through that entire CSV file, data file. Okay, and then again I am just registering this as a new underscore groups variable, so that I can use this in another task or action. Okay, I will show you later where it is going to be utilized. So in a sequence, first of all we will create groups so that it can uh, create there, and then it will associate to the users. So first of all we will create this group.yaml task, and then how we can call this YAML, this action file. I'm not going to call this in each and every these three files separately. I'm just calling from one particular place. If you see here, I just explained about before playbook.yaml. This is my main YAML file. Okay, So if you see how it is written, so name is read users from CSV file and create users and groups. Host, local host, I am just using the local host, not the remote host. Okay, so local host gather facts to connection is local. Then the tasks, so here I'm mentioning all those tasks as a list. So if you see as I am underscore group.yaml where I have mentioned here, and the tags I'm giving group. So one by one, all those YAML files, task file I will mention here. So next is we need to attach some policy. So like what user or based on the role, what is going to be accessed and denied. So this is the task file for that policy. So if you see here, type Ansible Playbook task, attach policy to group, purpose to create an AWS group policy and attach to user group according to the permission. Okay, so I am using this IAM underscore policy module, and IAM underscore type would be group and IAM underscore name. So I am using passing this group name item dot group dot name from my previous group.yaml. I'm taking a reference from there because these groups would already be created when the entire playbook will run. So do you see this group name? So this would be the group name. So I am passing here, and this is the item I will pass as item, and then referring entire group from the previous this YAML task. And the policy name is read only policy, and the policy underscore JSON. So where the policy is located, so let me show you here. Inside the template directory I have mentioned this read only policy.json. So this is the JSON document I have created this, and uh, mention the policy, what policy like logs, and create log group and create log stream. So based on the each roles and requirement, you can mention different policies and you can attach to each role. But for the sake of simplicity, I have just mentioned this one JSON, and I will call attach to each and every groups. So this is the policy underscore JSON, and this is the lookup. Uh, uh, Actually, this is lookup add-on here from the Ansible. So I will mention this by lookup. I will mention this as a template from my template. Again, I am mentioning the entire path from where the policy.json is located. Okay, so what Ansible is does, it will go here, look through the lookup template, and entire path it will refer from here. Okay, then the state is present. Again, we are just creating a resource, so it will be present, and then loop. So until the last number of records groups, we need to play this loop, we need to iterate this loop. So remember I mentioned this under new underscore groups I am saving the result. So if you see in this register new underscore groups, I have saved that entire result of newly created groups, so I can pass into this YAML file here. Okay, new underscore groups dot results. So it will iterate up to that data, and it will attach to each and every group. So next, and again I am passing this task into this main playbook.yaml here. IAM underscore group and policy.yaml, and the tags is policy. So next one is IAM underscore users.yaml. So again the type is Ansible playbook task, create new user password and attach to group. Purpose to create an AWS user and associate them with existing group automated way by reading CSV file through the Ansible. So again, I am using this read underscore CSV, and the path, the actual path of that users.csv where it is located. So it is located here. Then I'm saving that output as a in the register user list variable. And then the next one is create IAM user in the AWS cloud. So again, IAM module is going to be used. Then IAM type would be user. What is the name of that user? So this would come from the CSV. Okay. So here, if you see the name of that column, title, name, group, and password. So name user.name, I'm referring passing as a user.name, then password user.password, then state is present. Again, we are going to create the resources, so it would be present. Then the groups user.group, and then the loop. So I will iterate through the entire list of users through this user list. Then the loop control would be loop underscore variable user, this user. It will iterate that way. And this YAML I'm mentioning here as a task, I'm including here, and if you see, yeah, so this way the entire main playbook.yaml is ready and planned, and even this small each and every task are also planned and created. So this way the entire solution was created and planned in that way. So now let me walk through how it works and how it is going to be deployed in action. So just go through the documentation. So these are the implementation phase. Actually, in phase one, we will create a development ID configuration. We will configure, and then phase two, AWS CLI and Ansible configuration. We will install the AWS CLI and Ansible, and inside the VS Code. Then we will create an IAM group and users in AWS using Ansible. We will remove an IAM group and users in using Ansible. So actually, we are going to perform two separate tasks. We will create the resource and we will destroy. So that's why these two phases are mentioned here. So implementation in action, phase one, deploy development ID configuration. We will install the CLI in the VS Code Ubuntu WSL. Actually, I have my Ubuntu WSL configured inside my VS Code, so that is I'm going to utilize. So with this steps, you can install the AWS CLI. You need to install this pip install boto so that it Ansible works. Even you can install the sudo apt install Ansible this way. If you see here, I have installed the AWS CLI, and I have configured that secret key and access key of my AWS account. Then the Ansible installation, sudo apt install Ansible, verify Ansible dash dash version. Let me show you here as well. See Ansible 2.9.6, and this is the Ansible IAM user. Actually, we need to have one user through which we can interact through the Ansible to the AWS. So I have created one Ansible dash user and assigned the access key and programmatic access, no console access. I have attached the permission admin access. Actually, I shouldn't given, but I have just given for the sake of this PCC. Then you need to copy this access key and secret key from there, and you need to configure in within your VS Code environment. Let's this way AWS. If you hit AWS configure command inside the VS Code, it will prompt you for AWS access key and the secret key, where you copy and paste from there and here, and it will configure the establish the connectivity from your VS Code to the AWS cloud. Then install the pip, install the boto. Actually, I was facing some issues, so I had to install the pip install boto, and that's how I got to know. I figured it out. Then the main important thing, you need to configure the inventory, Ansible inventory. Okay, so if you go inside the cd, it is at c Ansible, you need to configure the host. Okay, vi host, there is a host file where you need to add this localhost line. If you see here, I have mentioned here. So your VS Code will work as a Ansible master node, control node, and this is your inventory where you are going to perform the action. So it will work, interact that way. Then the create whereas directory for AWS credentials. I exported that credential from my console, from my terminal, so it can configure. Then the running Ansible playbook. So my actual solution is starting from here. Okay, create a main directory, working directory, prepare a groups.csv and users.csv data files, create a subdirectory task, create two separate task file inside the task folder. Actually, I have mentioned and walked through all this process just a while ago, and I have documented each and everything here. Okay, so if you see here, this is first Ansible IAM create. So inside this, if you see, this is the same thing we will create using this. Okay, so this is nothing but I have already gone through and explained each and every steps and things in my VS Code. This is just the results what I have saved after the playbook ran successfully. Anyway, I am going to show in the action as well, so don't worry. So let's just move and do some hands-on, so you can have some better insight like what we are going to do in this session. So let me just go inside the first solution, AWS Ansible I create. If you see, it has these files, and this playbook.yaml also is there, main file which we need to run. So simply in order to run this solution, I will just do this way: Ansible dash playbook dash host, then just playbook.yaml. So this is the command I am just going to hit, and it will create the solution within the cloud. So let me just show the pre and post conditions. So let's just move to the cloud. So this is my users groups section. If you see, it has only two groups right now, and let's see users, it has only these users, this many users. Now let's just move and hit the command so it can create the solution. So if you see, reading the CSV, gathering the facts, Okay, reading CSV file return dictionary, then creating IAM groups now. DBA is created, network admin is created, cloud admin is created, Linux admin also created. Now it is going to attach a policy to the group. See, it has attached. Now going to read the users from CSV, creating IAM users. So first user created, second user created, third, fourth also created, and it has done executing. It has changed three resources, and the six is okay. So let's just go to the cloud, hit refresh. So if you see, these groups are created: cloud admin, DBA, Linux admin, network admin. From here, see, those are the groups created. Then the users, let's just verify. So John Doe, this is the user, this is the user, this is the user is created, and also these users are associated with these groups, relevant groups. Let's see the policies. So each group has its own policy attached. Let's just complete the loading process. Let me just open one group and let's go to the permission. See, read-only policy is attached. So here it is, our read-only policy. This is the policy attached to each and every groups. This is the JSON policy I have mentioned earlier. This is created. So if you see here, all those groups are created and it has the policy attached to each and every groups, and that was the solution of creating users and groups and attaching a policy automated way using Ansible. So let's just complete this loading process so I can show you the permissions. So meantime, let me walk through what we have achieved so far. So if you see, we created these resources, YAML file, playbook files, and we pushed through the Ansible, and it has pushed to the identity and access management inside the AWS cloud. And it has created these resources, users, groups, and policies. And we, with that, we have completed and achieved our first milestone here. So that was the first solution, this one. See, these permissions are defined. So now uh, we need to roll back and destroy all those resources, all users and groups. Even we don't need anymore. We don't need to allow the anymore those resources to access the cloud resources. Projects has let's say projects finished and no one needed the service of those users. So what we are going to do in that case, thousands users were there and we will need to delete each and every one by manual intervention. No, that is not possible. So that's how we can use the same thing in Ansible. Using Ansible we can destroy those resources. So what I have done in the delete, so I have created second solution, AWS Ansible IAM delete. Okay, so again the process is same. IAM playbook task and to delete the AWS groups automated way by reading CSV. And the one thing I have changed here is the state is I mentioned the absent. So any resources if you need to delete from Ansible through the Ansible, you need to mention the state as absent, so it will remove from there. Okay, so rest of the things are same for the users I have mentioned here. Same playbook.yaml file I have created and collected those included here. So let's just check. These groups are here, these users are here. Let's verify. Yeah, and now I'm just going to destroy all those. Okay, so let's just say change the directory and go to the second folder of the solution, and I will hit the same command because my main playbook.yaml file is same, so I don't need to change. That's the beauty of this solution. We don't need to change frequently those things because I'm always calling from one master playbook file all those resources. So the main command will always be remaining the same. Okay, so I'm just going to hit and let's see the magic. It is reading the facts, reading the CSVs, delete IAM users from AWS running. So first is deleted, second, third, fourth, deleting the groups now. It has done. All those tasks are complete. Let's just go and verify from the AWS side. So let's just refresh here. See, all the groups have gone. All the resources which we created using the automated way from the CSV Ansible. Let's just verify the users. Let's just refresh. See, all the users have gone, though no more users which we created using the Ansible from the CSV. So with that we have achieved our second milestone here, and phase 2 which was deleting the resources. So if you see here again, I am just destroying here. First task here, I will call this master playbook file, and it will go here with Ansible, and it will go here and call this IAM service, and it will destroy the users resources within the cloud. So with that I have shown the entire solution, and this is my documentation, even this for the second playbook as well. You can refer and take a benefit from there. And when I push this, when I push this solution to the GitHub repository as well, you can just go there and access the source code from the GitHub repository. So with that, I think we have achieved all those tasks and milestone, whatever I have mentioned uh, before this session, and we have implemented successfully our entire project. And you already have seen that how the Ansible is working and leveraging the automation task. Okay, so thank you, thanks everyone, thank you.